This is the door to the room you redecorated, yes. Good night, Lieutenant.
Just a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe. And besides, we should discuss our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Alright, let's go. Sad that the goddamn body has to be the full night in the freaking open. Don't like that though. Okay, so at this point, going into the balcony. But yeah, that's kind of frustrating. But the goddamn bookstore is now then closed, which isn't a surprise. We were trying to pay the goddamn thing and everything. The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum, then...
Where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost. But I also remember you wanting to discuss the RCM?
He lights a cigarette. I didn't know you smoked, Kim. I have a cigarette every night when I go over my note. It's something of a ritual. Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with the cigarette. No, I don't need to ask for one. How did you get so cool, Kim? Right then, the debrief. Return to it. Yes, he pulls on the cigarette. It's been a long and eventful day. So, how do you think today went? Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it. Our inspection could have been more throughout, as it always can, but we have some leads we can follow up on. In addition, we got that body down from the tree, and we performed a field autopsy on the victim. We found some things we can really work with. I still feel like we're missing something, and there's still work to do at the crime scene too. Yeah, he's right, you could smell it. That's something missing, even under the overpowering odor of the corpse. Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in Martinez, I mean... He takes a deep track and looks at the city. Yes, the initial interviews. Yes, well, we talked to some people. Including Everard Clare, a daunting adversary if there ever was one. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information, however. Yeah. He's a tough cookie, that one. Claire's also helped you. How should I say? Remember your name. That's a relief. Yay. Yeah, that's true. I don't know how I feel about my name, actually. That's normal. It's best not to give it too much thought. Kim must have had doubts about his name at some point too, but deliberately discarded them. Have you ever wanted to change your name, Kim? Change? No, not exactly, but I think all of us at some point imagine what our lives might have been had we been something else. And then we feel trapped by the names we have been given as symbols of the intentions and expectations of others. He pulls a long, pensive track. Even if I were to change my name now upon hearing any syllable that sounds like Kim in the street, I turn to see who was calling me. Yeah, definitely would happen. But let's move on to the Wild Pines rep. We didn't get to that interview. No, we didn't. It's very important that we do it tomorrow latest, he breathes out, a pillar of silver smoke. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that the standard present 41 practice? I have a really good theory about why you are running so fast, son. You just wait until we get up tomorrow. I don't know why I do the things I do, Lieutenant Kitsuraki. He nods thoughtfully, dropping his finger on his cigarette. It's impressive, especially for a man your age and in those heels. He looks at your snakeskin shoes and smiles suddenly. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange. It sure does, Quinn. So, what are our powers exactly? The RCM. They're quite limited. Actually, the power officers of the Revanchol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is important fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. Wouldn't that be an easy power to abuse? Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request their cause from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. He frowns. It undermines trust in the RCM. 1,000, why not more then? The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We're not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol. Okay, what else then? We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. Wait, how can you be sure the arrestee will show up? You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up. When power calls you, you come, but power itself is a fragile trick of deception. Yes, authority, yes. I see, and if someone resists? As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your photo marks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power. What happens to the people we convict? We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts. The lights came on. A little bit more, I think. The gardener is still just sitting there, though. And sent them to coalition government's courts in Corona and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them. He taps on his coat pocket, where he keeps his notes. Wait, so if I kill someone while on duty, you have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases throughoutly by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best. Makes sense. That's a good thing then, that it's not that easy to do. And who makes all these rules? The coalition government and the moral intern more proudly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order, no more and no less. His gaze is absently fixed on a window below that just went dark. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. Let's say it was the citizens of Revachol. Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral interns leases us the right to keep the peace in the city, and they will take it away if we misuse it. So, the moral intern, what is it? The Moralist Internationals are the world's largest political organization. He pulls on his cigarette. You know who they are. They run this place after the revolution failed. If I didn't know, how would you describe them? They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPs, most intergovernmental organizations in the world. What do they believe in? What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats. What is their symbol? Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can coach what they want you to think of them from that. Yeah, something kind and usual. Something ominous, says the Inland Empire. On the other hand, conceptualization and Inland Empire have different thoughts about this matter. Something even a little feminine, but in a strict manner. Who was this Dolores Day? A historic figure. The author of the modern age, he thinks. You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me. What do you think of them? The moral interns are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And he looks at the city below. It doesn't look like that's about to happen. It's more than that. There's some kind of affection in him. You like the moral intern? Yes, I did, when I was younger. In my 20s I considered myself a moralist. A blue forget-me-not, a piece of the sky, he quotes. They're not all that bad. That's another leitmotif associated with moralism. But the years have changed that. I don't know what I believe in now. He thinks, then changes his mind. No, I believe in the Elysium. That's enough for me. Okay, so I have an opinion on the moralitarians conclude. And do you? The lieutenant arches his brow, then pulls on his cigarette. It's a slim, white thing in his fingers. So what is it then? Things are bad out there. Point to the city, we need them here, giving us the right to police revenge show. They got an awful job here. Have you seen the blessed humanism? What are choices of the world's biggest bourgeois organization protecting workers' rights? Immigrants liberal keeps fucking men out of turning into women. Well, what would I think? Well, there is good things they've done, but there are also bad things they've done. Or they can't do good enough, I would say, as in this place isn't really perfect now, is it? If it would be perfect, then I guess they would be doing an amazing job, but it's definitely not perfect. But on the other hand, without them, how wouldn't the police be even more corrupted? Like, they try to keep the police to even not be that corrupted, but from what I have understood and seen thus far, police is pretty corrupt. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the place is the best. But this doesn't still feel a right thing to say either. I don't know if I want to have a thought about this or an opinion, because I would have an opinion that is a little bit of a mix of these two. Personally, that would be my opinion. It wouldn't be just one thing. On the other hand, you need something. Of course, this I can understand also the idea behind this, because there are things that especially would want to be protecting self-interest and so on, and that might be on the background there too as such, but there's no way for me to know if that's the case or not. I would need to be able to actually see it, rather than just make a judgment based on this discussion. I don't know anything more than this discussion about it, so on second thought, I don't have an opinion. Forget about it. My kind of police officer, he nods, a light smile, then looks at the roundabout. The lights of the orphan districts are reflected in his glasses. I do like shivers for surees. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string from east to west as Revanchol commutes back to the suburbs. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Monday's over. Say nothing, just look into the night. The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next track. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here, as in the goddamn cigarette. Finally, he pulls on the cigarette and says, "They really don't like us here, and the mouth on that kid, Kuno, is different in land, in Jamrak and the GRIH. Why are they like this?" "It's our fault for leaving this place to the docks, to the union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. It's like I told you, this place is an orphan, fallen between the cracks." That does make sense. And in Jamrock and the GRIH, he looks at the dark silhouette of the equestrian monument cutting into the night sky and says, "We run this city. West of the river is our Siam land. It's incredibly hard, human beings are," he shakes his head, "but we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate." Night. Captain Ptolemy Price steps into the yard. A piebald horse waits by the motor carriage, shoving oats out of an oat back. Seagulls fly overhead. The sky is black. Captain Price wears a black suit and a standard patrol coat as he mounts the horse to head home. Rows of houses on either side, hunching over the sidewalks. The precinct 41 with its dome roof growing distant. Around him the streets are silent. A kid on the corner waves at the captain as he takes the turn on Bertiation and Main. The horse knights. The captain nods back. "Thanks, kid," he thinks. He's grateful. For us, or... I hope our investigation will help improve the situation here, at least do some good. "Me too," he says quietly, "but I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetime." Well, thank you for this. It was nice to have this discussion. Yay, level up, woohoo! New skill point. Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go. He puts out the stub of his cigarette and looks out the door. Yep, let's, other than I do want to have a look into my skills. I only have one skill point though. Wish that I had more. I would love to take some visuals, calculus more. I would love to take some logic because that seems to be something that would really be good for me. I also think that, well, let's see. What other thoughts did I have that... Well, I only have that thought, so I don't think I need to put a point into here at the moment. I have everything that I really want. So there's the bonuses from the thought, all entrance white checks unlocked. But of course, that's unfortunately only once. Learning cap for entrance raised to 4. I guess that's fine. But I don't really need this anymore necessary. Oh, did I get 2 skill points? Also, way home, okay, if the speed gives 1, psychic, that's not really useful, but learning gap for perception raised to 5, so maybe I will actually take some points into that. Advanced theory plus 1 to conceptualization, the mystery is mostly aesthetic, and learning cap for rhetoric raised to 5, which is decent. Plus 1 to conceptualization is okay, too. This is probably the best from the ones that we have here, just because of that. This is the -1 to authority, embarrassment to the party. It's a research thing, but of course we don't really know yet what this will give us. This Rick's self-critique, and then this is the one that I really wanted to do, so we could maybe... Insomnia. That's could be bad for the night to have insomnia, but hey, it's worth it to be able to quit drinking, right? Let's have a look here then. What would be the one I would want to raise the most? I think this is fine as it is at the moment. I'm interested in the volition, logic. Maybe I should take logic. I would really like to have some more of the logicality, I'd say. Sure. Even though it's still going to only be 3, but hey, that's better than nothing, right? Let's see, should I still, before going to sleep, have a quick peek then into our... Because wasn't this with the logic? So we could at least try if we can succeed with this. Yeah, well, this is interfacing. But this is logic. So, oh, finished autopsy, so that's why we also have +1, and now we have at least logic number 3, so... And Kim explained the system. So let's have a look. Can I read these case files now? It is also something we can retry. This is a white check, so we may retry it, but only at certain times. But now at least we have a higher chance of doing it, because we even did the autopsy, so that's cool. Let's do it. Yay, did it. Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code of the margin. It always begins with HDB 41, the date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title, for example, HDB 411201117, and then 00, the next world mural. But yeah, those were... Wait, HDP 41. Weren't those officer precinct? Yes, I was 41. Why, yes, your precinct number is 41. And HDB. Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials, as in Harry... And yeah, how the last bits went there. But okay, so yep, that's our name. Harry Du Bois, HDB. Yep. Still feels like there's something missing from that. Okay, but now we can read some of this. The next world mural. This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 12/02, a graffito, nay, a mural appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Shamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited coast tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their forms reads: True love is possible only in the next world for new people. It is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaint desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partners are assigned to the case. The graffiti crew is easy to track down. Only the belles lettres have the litterets of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffiti artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. And the ideologues of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown. That's a good question. Read on. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner JV is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of the Rotary. Okay? The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options. A. Remove the mural, it is wrong. Keep the mural, it is right. Well, as in, which was my vote? Or which one wins? Well, it might have the wrong message, but it's already there. If it looks good enough, then I guess we could keep it. That's my opinion, so I guess I would be rather keep the mural, it is right. even if originally it shouldn't have been made to begin with. A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that law truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us. The middle class are not to be blamed, it's human nature. Yep, that's more likely. Did anyone ask what you believe in? Man with the smelly toilet ledger? What do you want to tackle next, or are we done? Well, what about the unsolvable case? That's very interesting. Let's leave that a little bit later. The square bullet hole murders, sure. It would be very interesting to read about this, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape. But that's all you got. Around the half hour you've spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in the forehead. A sequence killer, apparently then. Who knows? Those pages are missing. What's next? Aw, don't worry. One day, one day we will have a answer to those, but the pages are missing right now about this killer that left square holes in their skulls. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun. My god, maybe we will solve it in this location. Maybe. The couch in an unexpected location. Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it, in the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside, by the motorway, you know, at an unexpected location. They were young and they thought they looked cool on it. They looked really cool, like a rock band. I would think more of a rock band than models. Yes, and as you've said here, insufferable rock and roll assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was. And they were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations they took it to, where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee, because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarettes, pots, coffee cup, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did, so congratulations to you, case solved. Did I ever catch those guys though? No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what it's called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down a couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next? Okay, couple of kind of weird cases for us. Murder at the hookah parlor. Murder, tum-tum-tum, at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to the murder at the hookah parlor. Wait, how? Beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner JM, only initials mentioned, answered the call one night. It's a sad story and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor. Right, on with the murder then. Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve, was doing it solo, said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for like a month. The captain got impatient. Shit, or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot, not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had. Wait, was Joseph Mills a good cop? No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey, still. He'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That the murder vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere. And you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know those places where you go and smoke bubblegum flavored vapor all day. Can you get high of it? Really stupid, to be honest. Yeah, so anyway, a young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open right on the floor of the hookah parlor in the middle of the day. No one else is in there, only client that day. In perfect health too, some kind of a movie producer. No one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on that hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? God damn, the clock is ticking so long. Mills has no idea. Invisible assassins. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Table's low, heavy, really sharp edge. He sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head onto his table and died. Okay, invisible assassin. See, you can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain oxygen supply. And you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom. And what was he doing there for 6 hours? Probably just exactly that. Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know, trying to come up with a movie script maybe. Anyway, that was murder at the hookah parlor. Joseph Mills was a good detective. And about 30 minutes he pieces it together. Next. And about 30 minutes has passed, piecing it together. Next. The unsolvable case. Let's visit that in the morning, I guess, because it's really getting late. Not much has changed in the meantime. Yep. Okay, let's just get the freaking out of here. Thoughts complete. Richard's self-critique. Yay, we did a thought completion too at the same time. Okay, critiquing ourselves. Here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off in the locker room and were caught. You held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment for 20 minutes against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy. These are real deeds. Harry, emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeing suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience of your friends. You drowned in a neurotoxin. You let misery win, and it will keep on winning till you die, or overcome it. Okay, int and psi red checks failures heal +1 morale, and fuse and motor red checks failures heal +1 health, learning gap for pain threshold raised to 6. Not that useful. I guess these are okay that they heal, but on the other hand, do I really need it that much? Well, it is as it is. We have it completed regardless. Okay, to sleep. We needed to go to sleep. Everyone goes to sleep at least at 2 o'clock. That's how it was said. Let's go. Good night. See you in the morning. See you in the morning. Yes, see you in the morning indeed. Bye. Yes. Good night, Kitsuraki. That was the room that the one lady was in before. Guess she's left. Let's close the room like a civilized person. I guess we can go to sleep. The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it is yours. The sheets look awful. Crawl in. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your feet as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come. Why? Maybe it's the bed's fault? Check the blanket. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. Under your throbbing eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily. Check the pillows. Or a pillow. Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly. Roll over to the other side. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it? Yeah, and we did have insomnia from the fact of trying to do that in getting out of drinking alcohol, so... Who killed him? Who? Something to do with... What was it that the lieutenant said? Union. And it's gone again, your thoughts lost between the slowing brainwaves. No more thoughts. Fall asleep now. Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start to form in. Ooh, that's interesting. Well, this is different. We're like leaving this location. I assume we couldn't go into here, and not really into here either. The only way we can go is to the murder scene. In our dreams. We really are committed to trying to solve this now, though considering we are even now coming back into here. Just like this. There he is. Hanging, but it's us hanging and not actually the murder victim, but it makes sense. Hello, me, who is murdered. Bloated corpse of a trunk. Do you remember the scene of your childhood?
You remember the scent of your childhood?
A scent even, yes. Not a scene, but a scent. What is this?
What it says on the can, Harry. Answer the question.
I was born in a hospital where people usually go to die.
You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit. Tell me. Do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
I was left.
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
I don't know if I could be going and trying to get it all back though, to be honest. Maybe we can try. Maybe I can get it all back.
No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium.
I've talked to you before.
No, Harry. You were just talking to yourself. That's all you ever do, even in your dreams. And the act is wearing thin. The spots on the disco ball fade around you.
It is, after all, a disco ball right here, and the lights do go nicely around, gotta say.
You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time. Sweating up the bed. Stinky boy.
What is Elysium?
Everything. The Pale and the Isolas on the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people, and you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
Well, we gotta try to come back from this. I don't know if we can, but we must try.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours, bumping into things and acting like a clown? Who are you kidding?
I am trying to solve this case.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet, grinding in your head.
Something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad. This dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
Well, I assume it's the fact that I am having an insomnia because I'm trying not to drink and stuff at all. God, there's another type.
Oh yes, party boy. And it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Yay, time to go and work in the shit factory. Woohoo! Sounds perfect. "7:30. We didn't sleep for that long. Good going, buddy. Is that how it's going to be now when I close my eyes? Yes, wait till you see the one with the chick in it. It's gonna be a good one. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night. What chick? You don't know. Some proud that messed you up. It'll come to you, it always does. As in our 5, I guess. Because our 5 left us, because, yeah, we were going down, burning. What the hell is going on with me? You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think. Why is this happening? It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself. Yep, we're gonna try to. Wait, what is the speed? Nope. No, I can't take this. I'm not going to be looking for speed. I can take this. Yeah, I can take this. I'm not going to go looking for speed. I was thinking that I must have read that wrong. Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically a week? Let's be honest, 2 weeks, maybe 3. You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. Won't be fired. That's a lie. I can do this without the speed. Half the town won't be dead. Suit yourself, slow, sad shellman. See how you do without your spark. Well, we have our thought going after all. Still 12 freaking hours. Will take a while. I have more points, I guess. Do I? Now I'm getting confused. Do I have more points to put somewhere? I don't think so. No, I do. Where did I get another point from? But I do only have 1 more. I guess I did have another one already a little bit earlier, but where the heck would I put it in? Well, that's a good question. What would seem like the most important? Well, perception could be cool. The reaction speed could be cool. Some intervention could be nice too. Or composure maybe. Or something from here. Conceptualization is at least relatively high now. See art in the world. We'll throw intellectual power that choose the world. We could put that to number 4 and then it would be a little bit better. Or we could put some more to volition. Some more to shivers. I don't know. Maybe I'll go for 1 more to this logic. Try to be more logical. Sure. Okay. Then let's read the last of the case files. Interactables. Read the case file. The unsolvable case. AKA Leslie and Burke, aka the public indecency trunk and the property damage trunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29th, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trust everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man. And you can't lock them away, because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. That's not true, though. You can change the nature of a man. It just depends what is the factor that can change the man. Change the nature of a man. This just brings into my mind this question, Planescape Torment, and after all, what can change the nature of a man was a very important question there. And it can be all sort of things from my point of view at the very least. All sort of different things. It just depends on you, the individual. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling Sinage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with your ceasing to produce the expression. Proceed. Couldn't we just keep them off the street, though? You would think that, but you are wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Bertisian, because that's where the action is. Okay? Can you keep yourself off the street? I guess we wouldn't be able to keep ourselves off the streets either. Threatening fines, tracking them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the stations, hypnotherapy, even trying to get a local gang of Zemliaks to take them out. The Zemliaks gave them ethanol so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV and Special Consultant DH, had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-references to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down the main street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition, and what Leslie's doing. What was Leslie doing even? What was Leslie and what was the other person? Public indecency. Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board on his face. In his face. Then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who at this point is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Perko. While trying to kill Perko, you slowly come around. The permeable compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burke's kneecaps. The good news is Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment. An invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, who knows, but both drunks are off the streets. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved by breaking his kneecap. How nice. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one? I think that's fine then, for the moment and time being. If I could get the Lonesome Long Way Home away, that would be kind of nice. Crack it on the knee like perk. I maybe will try that next time, but I think this is enough for today, and I will be continuing from here the next time. We're starting a new day. That's a good time as any to end for this episode. So hey, thank you for watching some more Disco Elysium. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you for more next time around. So bye bye till then. To be continued with Kira Rusha next time in Disco Elysium. See you all then.